I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is March 26, Wednesday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today. So you gotta watch. I know yesterday's video was really long, but guess what, man? It was 59 minutes, 52 minutes or some shit. But guess what? Like, it was a lot to say, and I was getting real detail. I'm gonna try to make it short, but this was just as a fire day. But we talked about popping up and then selling off. Gave this whole example of this here. And then we had the gap, and I was talking about that already. So we wanted to swing up and retrace. So how far was it gonna go? Today was a good example of it. Also, I made this video on the 24th. And then this is pre-hitting the 50 level, and we're talking about, well, our goal is the algo to get up here, but when I give this example here, is that this is possible that could have happened on Monday, right? Or not Monday, Tuesday, right? No, yeah, Monday, even, well, not Monday itself. Monday came up here, but Tuesday, to retrace back, the idea is getting into here. So what's it called, and then different parts in the video, I'm kind of all over the place, but if you listen carefully, I'm working it out, and then also seeing the ideas. So you got to be patient. I'm sure you are, so I'm not saying you're not, but 50 level here, that we had the drives 1 2 3, even called that one a drive. So 1 2 3, and then I said this was the fourth possibly, and then us to sell down, obviously. And we did that. That's exactly what we did. And to show you that I even capitalized on it, look at this. I capitalized on it. Very, very, very fire video. Again, in bearish days, you see this all the time, right? But you have to remember. So going back to here, on the 15-minute or even the 4-hour, you can see that we're there already. And then Asia, look what Asia does when it opens up. It barely taps. It's literally back in the range, and then it breaks right there. So obviously, I'm waking up here. But and I saw that, and I was like, dude, watch them drop it from here, because they're still banging around this area, right? Like I would have wanted it to see it maybe pop up here to then sell, because I understand that coming up to seal the rest of the imbalance on the weekly is possible, but the number one goal was to hit the 50, and then logically to come back down to wipe out buyers or the push out traders or the inefficiencies, just like I mentioned about coming to this high. That's why I'm drawing this picture like this, right? Like coming back down, and you know that already. We've discussed that, right? But anyways, where was the signs on the wall to keep going? Well, obviously they gave you the lower lows, and they came pretty deep, close to this liquidity from the PM session of yesterday. So this is also framing the logic of selling into. Not really confident in buying this to go higher, even though that was a very big decision I had to make in possibility. But I realized, especially with the timing involved at 9 o'clock, I decided to take this sell, because I do have a divergence on for NAS and S&P and Dow, with NAS being the lower high. So we actually had two of those. I'm going to try to reference both of these back, but we had two. This is three even. So there's one right there, right here with this. I'm going to move this up. So we had one right here, right, which was a higher high here and a higher high here. Then we made another lower high here when this made higher highs and higher highs. And then we had this little one. I didn't even have a chance to change the color, whatever. Then we had another one here. So I'm rolling with the idea of, logically, I still want to come into this. Well, if I can hold it to the gap, but I couldn't. And to get into this logic of coming back down to retrace, especially with breakout levels. Okay, that's pretty obvious, right? Let me go to step one and show you how this occurred. So, for example, I have also the structure here. I got one drive, two drives. I got the drives here, but this is really the lower high. That takes out that guy. It's a lower high, and then it makes another structure down. I've already got the understanding. We have this liquidity that yesterday, when they were inside the ranges and they're that neat, that's sometimes a surefire thing to say that might be suspect, where we come back to take the liquidity, because some people are still holding these positions. Obviously, I got in here and I'm taking out, right? Actually, I didn't get this leg up, but the point is that like I'm already out of the market. So, and we know key level of 50%. We all know that we have the imbalance. Now I have it highlighted on the daily. The daily's highlighted right here in the blue, and then I have this one in the 4 hour. Just refine right there in the 4 hour. So I have both. I have both showing. All right. So this is how I do the trade. Understanding that the potential of this happening today is possible because it's Wednesday, right? What's it called? Wednesday can be the low of the week, but in reality, it's just Tuesday as well, right? But anyways, you see the divergence here, and it was hard to screenshot this better, but you see that I have this swing here to see what the projection looks like, because this high, it never gets taken out by this guy over here, which is up here. It never took that out. Remember, I just got done telling you about the divergences. So we got smooth liquidity, but see, S&P and Dow, they're knocking their people out. They are squeezing them out, but they're leaving it there. So in my opinion, just weaker, but that's the logic here, right? So projections, you can see that we have the 2 to 2.5, we have 3.5 to 4, and then this could be done also other ways too. I ended up measuring this later, which I can't show that now, but I just can't show everything on the same shot on different screens because I have different ideas that I use and see, but sometimes I don't change the screenshot, so you didn't get to see. Anyways, I won't get into that, man. But the point is that you can see that this last up candle right here. See how this blue line right here? We pop in. That's a 5-minute candle. I know it looks fucking ugly there. Right here. This is a 5-minute block. Let's go to the 5-minute. I know this. Well, don't worry about it. I know I'm giving fire here. 5-minute last up candle. You see that? So, and we're tagging it right there. Beautiful. So, now that you see that, this is the logic of, so I'm watching, again, a lot going on. 8:30 does this, right? Comes down, comes back up. Now, at this point, you think it's going to push through. And I was concerned about it because I was like, dude, but because of the divergences, because of the understanding coming down here and it's squeezing it, making it hard. They do that shit on the purpose all the time so they can come down and you not get in the trade. So I have a very high chance of this selling off. Sure enough, and I have the midnight level. We're tagging it. We're up above it. You can see, you know, the last resort, anything above that midnight level in the orange right there, it just peaks above, peaks above, peaks above. See that? So I'm doing the same thing here, and I'm understanding and I'm seeing it. And then and I tried to take this sell. I ended up taking a couple losses trying to catch this bitch. But then they finally raided and wicked, and I caught it from up here. So that's how you see the entry, which is right there, literally on the top here. Now, I'm expecting for move 1. I'm assuming it's a sell by sell. I'm already knowing that in my strategy. So sell. Look what they did. They came to the 50. They came to the week gap, 2-week gap ago, and then they pushed all the way up deep. And I was shitting bricks like, bro, why did you fucking do that? Blah blah blah. But I knew that this was a last resort. This last up candle, we're tagging it. We're also at the 50% of the gap, opening range gap. So it was a good size to where it could come back up in there. I have to allow that, but I'm understanding weakness already. The goal, the gift was already this big structure here, like this. Like for me, I'm already expecting to keep going down and raid because of the inefficiency that's very clear that I've been talking about, right? So logically, it pops up here. We get the retracement. I'm not worried about this. When I take the sell, obviously I'm trying to get to here at minimum because this was at the time that was this guy right here. See this low, this from the PM session from yesterday. See that little low right there? See that? So that low I was trying to tag that, and we didn't hit that here. So I was still in the trade, and I was like, oh, I'm going to keep holding. And obviously I understand we have bigger fish to fry here, plus the imbalance of the first imbalance from Tuesday. So that was the liquidity sitting there. I'm like, nah, they're gonna grab that liquidity. Sure enough, we first pop back up, and we end up using this first that not this bearish imbalance right here. We end up selling it off from there, and then we use this blue one as an inversion, and it does hold right there, and it also ends up holding it here. But my I was already in the trade for selling, and then fucking we got this last up candle here, and then we tagged that. So now we're making our flow, and we're beneath the first imbalance. You know, you can also say this was the first imbalance since that wasn't really so tight. To me, this is kind of like the first imbalance here, the in between there, but here could be used, and you can see and if you did whatever, you can see that the bodies are respecting inside it, and wicking and stuff like that, tagging that last candle, and I know my trade was good to go, and I was blessed. Now again, this could have been an entry as well all by itself, but I was already in, so again, I'm break even, so it should not be going any higher. Sure enough, it worked beautiful. Where am I going again? More. It starts rolling through, and I'm just like, I'm just trailing the stop, trailing the stop, trailing the stop. So understanding that when the strength I'm getting, and I'm understanding this more as well as the possibilities of coming lower. I have measured the imbalances there, the 4 hour. I don't even hold it for the 4 hour. My goal is I'm just stretching it. I'm very happy for the trade, and I don't need to see any bounces back up. I'm just going to squeeze it out. Even I left money on the table. It's not a big deal. Number two, and that's sitting right here. And then when we get here, this price does pop back up into this bearish imbalance right here, and it's knocking underneath the actual now weekly gap. See that? So then they end up locking the price as a controller price by being underneath it and locking it. Look at the bodies sitting there. See how you got stuck there? You couldn't get past this anymore. So at the logic here when we made this, so this is a lower low and a lower high too. This is another reason why I held, because I understand that the lower high is here. Take a look. So we already have the structure right there. Remember, I'm going to draw it. I go above and beyond, don't I? So I'm looking at the structure here like this. That's the low. That's the lower high. Two legs down, lower low. Boom, popping up, lower high. Look at this. Inside that here, you see that? We made the lower low after 9:30. So we had a little dump first, fake pump, but it was a speaker again. But the real way was coming this way because of the logic. That's structure already. Lower low, now this is a lower low. The lower high is coming back up to that 50% of that imbalance, that opening range gap. So where's my next lower low? Right through, right? You see that? So that is how I was able to manage mentally the trade and the logic of the execution. Divergence very clear too as well. Again, coming down here. So we talked about this. Again, we talked about this. So that's why you give that understanding of, it's very clear that we had the 3 days. I was talking about making the actual making the momentum breakout trade to begin with the days, and then the next day, which would be now today, Wednesday, we peak up and we take some liquidity. This was very shallow though. Go back to this was very shallow though. Look back here. Look here, see this over here? That's very shallow. You see how we just took the previous day's high, which was yesterday, and we didn't go anywhere else, and then we just started rolling down, baby. So so guess what? Now the price is here. I could have held it while it retraced here, but I'm not trying to fuck around and find out. So I'm taking the profit and I'm happy. Guess what? It comes up. This is an opportunity for a sell because but I understand move one is in the picture. So move one can have more drives down. So I could have held it for more drives, but I don't feel comfortable and I'd rather take it. So, but you want to incorporate the drives because look what the drives look like. Came down and then we're coming into what I've already got highlighted in the previous trade, but I end up getting out here. This is just me being responsible, and I came here to do one thing, and that's what it was. So I'm in move one. I know this is possible move one, right? So guess what? This fails, it doesn't shoot up. It doesn't come up here or anything. They're locking it. You don't know it's going to be locked or not, but they ended up locking it. And obviously with the lower lows and lower highs that it's creating, but whatever, it stretches for this, no problem. Let it come down. Then it comes into the 4 hour. It comes in the daily, but then it comes in the 4 hour. Look how it comes into the 4 hour. Obviously, it's with this dark, overlapping one right there. See how we come down and we stretched all the way down. I was trying to see what it does. It does it to 50 because I'm looking for number 2. I'm looking for to buy. Which would be move 1 came down and move 2 would come up. That's number 2. I got it on the screen. Can't be lying there. Huh. And then what does it do? This stretches down. It taps the bottom of that 4 hour imbalance perfectly to the head. And that means that if you look at it, it means it sealed any push out trader through there. So that's what an imbalance is technically, right? Also, but it hit it perfect. And I was like, okay, and it was and then it starts bouncing back up. I made an entry yesterday of me getting into a trade just like this with the body closing. I'm sorry, the body of the candle turning bullish, and my entry is usually on that decision. But because the way it snapped perfectly on this low, that's algorithmic. It's perfect. So that's how I get into this trade. Yes, I took some losses with some ideas, maybe trying to grab number 2, but the logic is yes, have more patience and wait for the drives. And I was actually trying to come in here, but I decided to sit back because I have to now. You don't know how it's going to pan out, right? So, but I do know number 2 is coming. So this is how this trade gets born, and then it pops up, gets back into this inversion right here, uses it as a low, pushes it up for a high here, retraces back into this support block. It's just temporary. It failed, but it ended up using it back as an inversion. But this last up candle here, like this one right here, for example. You just measure that, and you have the imbalance on this side and draw it. But you can see that this is bouncing here and respecting. So I'm trying to pull number 2. So number 2 is pushing up, and it's real fickle. Small candles coming right back in, not going anywhere. At this moment, I decide to squeeze it. Why? Because of the fact that I have the range here shown. Remember, this was a lower low, a lower high, and then it just failed. So I'm thinking this is the range here. It didn't pan out, but it in a very heavy market, it won't pan out actually. So I'm not expecting that I have to hold it for this 50% or in here, because I understand that this is possibly a control of price. Sure enough, when we came up here, I didn't draw it yet, but right here, this line, this last up candle right here, if I draw it, you'll see that we come real close to it. So I understand it doesn't have to hit that, and ends up hitting that, but I understand that these last up candles can be the control of price. And when I highlighted this right here, this projection, by the way, this was on a 5 minute, and I made a mistake to change it back to the 1 minute because I was analyzing it on a 1 minute and a 5 minute to see what the projection would look like. And I started to not believe in coming up here anymore. Why? Because when we did this control of price, we're underneath that weekly gap. So you and that was another factor of why I said it's weak. I'm not fucking with these people. I'm taking the trade in the money, and I don't give a fuck. And that's a very powerful thing. I don't care what the outcome is, but I'm still part of the idea. So guess what? It comes up, I'm squeezing, and then I understand the situation, and I take the fucking trade out. Very good decision. Why? And I left this here. You can see we never came up to the 50. But see, we kept knocking. Look at this little knock. I was like, no, this is suspect. By that time, you didn't see the screenshot. I end up pushing it up to get squeezed out because it's over with. It's really suspect here. And I understand down here is really their goal. And I'm already not capitalizing on some of the movement down. But number 2 kicks in. Now, look, you see here, I got number 3. Very clear with a question mark. Is this number 3? So 1, 2. I would have loved for 2 to be fucking higher, but they're either going to be short 2s or ranges pullbacks, or it's going to be deep. And deep didn't seem like that was going to happen. That price was locked. Also, the 4 hour is in play, and they're reaching down and for what I've been saying. So I get squeezed out there. Then this candle breaks right there. So now I'm looking for possible number 3. So 1, 2. I know that was 2 because it retraced. It retraced pretty good. It wasn't like this bullshit here. No, it came down, and I'm looking for a push back up. So that counts as number 2. Yes, I want 2 up here. It didn't make it. So this could be number fucking 3. Sell, buy, sell. Talk about this every day. Yesterday was a buy, sell, buy, right? So today, sell. I'm giving you my strategy. So just so you know, right? In general speaking. But the logic is, if this was number 3, look how when this candle broke, this next candle, this wick pushed up and immediately rebalanced that breakout from that closed candle. And if you're watching this live, it was just the same example of this great entry here. When you watch this and it popped up, and I'm expecting this because of the fact that, guess what? When I get this big candle, remember I was trying to hold it. I let it squeeze me, but I also know that this could be number 3. This candle signified it. This is candle price action right here, pretty much, or candle techniques, or whatever you want to call that, right? It literally seals it immediately, right? That moment is in 100% sure taking the entry, because it's a swing back. And that becomes a little control of price. See how we come down? We come right back in it, right? And when the price was coming down, I'm in the trade. I'm getting closer to the London close and lunch, and I'm going to be done anyway. So I'm just catching this finale type of thing, this next leg down. But the price comes down here. I was supposed to take the profit. My goal when I took this sell, I was like, all I care about is taking this low out, because if this is if number 2 is still coming up from this way, from here, from number fucking 1, and then push up 2. If this was still 2, you never know. This could have came down, took that liquidity, and then ran up for still number 2. But I understand it's shallow and it's short, and I've already got perfection right there, right? Now I got it. I'm showing you the mark. It's marked there. See how I tagged it and then it fell down? That's how I knew. That's why I was like, let's take this out for the run. But at minimum, and being fucking responsible, I was gonna take this low out. Okay, cool. I missed it though. When it came down here, and I was looking at another screen, and it just happened all fast and wicked back up. I was like, fuck, I missed it. I was gonna take it out and take the profit. Guess what I did? I decided to just hold, because I understood that this leg was still possible for number 3, and that, this is so suspect, bro. Look at that shit. So anyways, we did retrace. We ended up using this as an inversion, and thank God it held. I was happy about that, because I was really pissed. I was supposed to take it here, and I messed up, but I got another chance. So I'm literally not even being greedy. It's not a home run. It's just a base hit. But hey, listen, for me, these are scalps, but guess what? These are I know that are 100% generally going to happen. But I end up getting it down here, let it wick me out. That's fine. Number 3. So when I take the profit out here, I know this is still number 3, but guess what? You see this low right here and this low, and then now we're coming underneath it. This is fanning out like kind of like this right here. When we take that low out and then we control price right there, see how it never goes up, shrinks, just like it does here, and possible here. I understand that once I take this out, it's gonna poke back up here to then sell to ride down. I'm trying to catch the leg down, but I'm also securing the profit. Look how I do it. Can't make that up. I just got out right here on that candle when it wicked me out, and then we had 2 more candles that popped up, and this is it's building the little control of price underneath. Now you got 2 lows. That's why I'm saying this. You have this low and you have this low. Then we come down here, and then we do this little bullshit ass speaker. You see that shit? And they're just bullshitting. And I'm trying to take this sell here. Where am I taking this sell? I have the projection here. This was also on a 5-minute candle, so go look at that. I'm not going to go do it for you. But minimum goal was to get to the 2 to 2.5. So once I sniped back in, see, got out right here, and I sniped it in beautifully, beautifully, I should say, and then came down, and the candles just started growing down with every single candle respecting. That's why, and I'm dragging it. Juice me out. I'm good. You see that shit? Getting into the 25% of the daily blue bullish imbalance. Also, I have that confluence with this 2 to 2.5, and I'm just squeezing it. It's coming down. Yes, I should have held it for this 3.5 to 4, because that's really where I wanted to go. Plus, but the thing is that look where the price is right now. At this moment, we knocked the 2. See this, the projection. Oh, now this is coming back to the projection. I ended up using just these consecutive only candles, not the tops, not the bottoms, just these consecutive 15-minute candles. And then you can see 1 and 1.5 is right here. And this is how I was also involved in this area, right? Don't forget, you also have the 4-hour right there beautifully. Man, tag it to the perfect bottom. But then you see the 2 to 2.5. My leg here from here to here is now reaching for this right here, and we tag it. And that's how I end up squeezing out. Okay, then, and I'm only showing you this because I was saying it yesterday and because of the logic of this whole situation. But again, remember, before I continue, I am not married to this. I'm not married to this because I know it's fucking weak. Oh, and the tip off, how I was able to catch this, besides the bearish imbalance, right? The immediate rebalance when it tagged right there. But at that same moment, I had this on my favor, and this is why having more screens or being able to see all of them move at the same time is a benefit. Because I might not have made a good decision the way I did, but here you can see. By the way, also Nas was herring up every time, and here S&P and Dow are making lower highs, and I saw that too. But what that wasn't really the gift. The gift was when I saw the candles. They were so bearish, and S&P and Dow. See, look at S&P was already down here when this was coming down here. All right. And I was like, damn, it's heavy. And look at Nas. Dow. Dow was, right here. All this. They were already down below their lows here. And Nas was still here. Okay. This momentum of watching the other assets come down is also how this was executed well. Fire, buddy. And then we had this little divergence with this candles here with Nas. And then we had higher lows in here. This is how I end up catching a last minute trade. Now, here's the deal. All right. I'm not crazy. I did not screenshot any of it. I mean, I did not Photoshop any of this. This is all 1000% real fucking trades. But the logic is I'm past my window. I'm getting not greedy, but I know these ranges are tight and small, but I'm still following the logic here. Move down 1, move 2 up, move 3. I catch it in 2 trades, and I end up getting down here, showing you here. And then you see that instead of the 2 to 2.5 where I got out and squeezed out right here, they ended up making a run for the leg down. Comes to the 3.5, fucking beautifully right there. Look at that, to the same level with this low I'm talking about right here. And then and whatever. Now, just in case, I put the range from here to here, just in case I got, so 1, 2, 3, where's 4? I put a question mark for that, right? So here I have a question mark for 3. Is this 3? Obviously, by the time it's pushing through, I know it's 3. 3 could have been here, or really 3 would have been pushing through. And that's, when I have this question mark, I'm still confident in what I'm doing, but it's still a maybe. It still is a maybe, but then I had my confluence of what I told you about the strength and all the other bullshit. So anyways, the price comes down, and then where's number 4? Well, because there's small ranges, I would love for number 4 to push all the way back up here and even clear that. I would love that, right? But guess what? It's heavy, number 1. Number 2, and you have to put that into the consideration of the story today. What was the story? Today, the story was that we just took yesterday's high, stuck at the 50, and we're coming down to wipe out liquidity and the fucking imbalance, correct? Okay, so, but they're showing it very weak. We have plenty of room to go. I am not a part of the day anymore because I have done way too much, and I decided to fucking get their ass a little bit here. So how do I do it? You see the 3 drives. 1, 2, 3. Pops up, comes down. Doesn't break that low. That right there is a basic double bottom in a sense. But I understand that, right? So I ended up trying to catch this trade. I took a loss first here because I had the 3 drives. All right. I'm also done for the day, but I'm also looking for that 1 trade. Also, it's lunchtime here. I want to see maybe if it retraces back for some liquidity. That's what we were doing here between 10:15 and 10:30. You can see that, you know, we get past 11 o'clock and we're in the London close. They're just coming up to whap out some people. That's a typical thing. Any swing highs after 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is here though. So you had those guys, those guys, those guys, and those guys. They decided to just take out this and leave this. See that? They didn't take those motherfuckers out. So, but the logic of coming, that was number move 2, right? Continue number 3. And then I'm looking for a reversal like at lunch. But guess what? I'm not greedy. I'm just trying to take the profit. So I take this trade. It comes here. I got it circled. I want it to come here. By the way, I had this circled. Oh, I didn't have it circled here. Why don't I have it circled? Oh, that's weird. But I did it after, I guess. Oh, I don't know. That's weird. But anyways, I have this circle here. I would love to come see this projection here on the candle. You can see 2 to 2.5. I'm inside it, and I'm like, fuck. I want to maybe come to 3.5 to 4. Does it come up here? Probably not. It's weak. And then support resistance. See how they don't come to it. And I'm like, they're going to dangle that fucking carrot. They did come into this, and that's all they cared about. I end up squeezing it up here, taking the trade out, and I'm fucking done for the day. Again, because it's now 12:30. I've already, sometimes I'll leave early before the lunchtime and take the last trade. Or I'll sometimes stay in. It kind of drug me back in a little bit. I stayed during lunch, and this is as far as I could go because at this point I'm actually really tired. But I have a question mark for number 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is worth a 4 because it is a pullback. This number 2, this is a pullback. It's got the fucking 4 drives on it, right? But it's small. But okay. I would love for this to fucking shoot through. But guess what? It might not. That's why I'm squeezing it here. So guess what happens after this? See this? So I'm not being greedy. Take the trade, dude. Because I know that movement's gonna happen. Obviously, by the way, we came through here and then bouncing on the levels, study them, and then you're not gonna be able to see it too much. So don't worry about the candles. So move 1, move 2. I'm caught 3. I pushed up 4. I got squeezed out right here. Look, it didn't go any higher. Where was number 5? I was done with the day. So that was 4. 4 did happen. And it was so easy. Where's 5? So either 4 is going to keep going or 5 is going to kick in. Look where 5 is. Sold fucking down. That's 5 right there. Had 3 drives. Pulls back. That's 5 and number 6. 6, pull back. It takes out a couple lower highs. See that? Takes out a couple lower highs to make the little swing. Very tight. Look, they're not coming back. Look right here. Look when they broke through here. It didn't come back. But it pushed back up to squeeze something. Right? And then this comes back. By the way, this is now the 50% level of the daily bullish imbalance. So keep in mind here. Look at this. We get to it here. Come underneath it. We're tagging it. Look how we're tagging. We come underneath. We come right back up to the 50, just a little bit here, and then we come back down. Now, what is this? This is number. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Little one. 5, 6. Where's 7? That's 7 right there. Right there, buddy. 7. Look at wicking, getting real tight, just like this bullshit here. Drop. When it's coming down, most likely it's going to tear that down, right? So, yes, could 1, 2 kept going? Sure. Then 3, then 4. Could 4 keep going? Sure, it didn't. Move 5 down. Move 6. Could move 6 keep going? Sure, it did not. Move 7 comes down. And there's 8 right there. I'm not even going to draw that. That's 8. Oh, look where they tapped. Oh, we're there now. Fucking bitches. So remember this swing, this pullback here? We are hitting at 50. This is why I make long videos, because I'm giving fire. All right, man. So we hit that. That was beautiful. That's, yeah. So you think buyers and sellers were able to do that? Gap it up and then hit this 50 level, then come back to this? Yeah, okay, dude. So show them this if you ever want to prove it that it's an algorithm right there. So now we don't have a body and it's not closed. Obviously, I'm expecting for it to leak down and come down. It's going to be very interesting here. But we have, remember, we have all right to we have all right to come back in this area to seal it. Now, does it from here? This is a projection I already did. Remember, we ended up coming a little higher, but I have to explain that anymore. But we have this higher low that we're kind of making from here. Is this going to hold this area? Is this going to hold? And this is as an inversion now. And is it going to push back up, right? To now get to the 50 and then seal this. So I'm going to just do that. This is option 1. All right. So let's just say this for simple. I mean, it could even hit this gap, but whatever. Let's just say it does this. That's option 1 for being bullish. This is very, very probable. Or it could even come up here. Since we've came down to wipe out sellers who just made money, buyers who just made money now, it's sellers. So let's just say they come up like that. And then we come up to squeeze out sellers, and then we come back down to wipe out buyers, and then we come back up to do this. So that's possible too. That's the bullish scenario. Or whoops, let me bring that back. Or this happens and we don't go up past here. We do this. See that? Won't wipe all that beautiful shit right there. And then get into that low right there. So I said it now. Ain't nothing really else to talk about. I've said my options there, beautiful. And then helping with us pushing down was also dollar going up higher. So I also mentioned that a video or two ago, but we didn't really have any outcome yet. But so far that helped. So take that idea and use it to what the examples I just drew. All right, and what possibilities could happen. Anyways, all right, and then Dow getting back and more into their gap up there that they didn't even finish either. They left that, and they have their present gap. They're coming down. Stocks are a little bit heavy. If you look at kind of like Nasdaq, for example, you can see that when we opened up on Monday, they also had their gap. So I was saying, if you've been watching the videos, I'm like, man, it looks like they're going to be lower highs. I don't see them maybe breaking through. I said that in a video not too long ago. Sure enough, take a look. The power is being held with lower highs, and obviously you have this breakout level here. So breakout level. And they're coming in. That's why everyone's pretty much heavy. This is kind of where I'm at now. I mean, I'm not a fucking genius or I have a genie in a bottle. It may sound like I do, but this is the best I can do. And as you can see, logically, they were hunting back down. Obviously for this gap first. So when we were also up here and we kind of sealed the gap that it originated with today, but with this completely being empty, I was now leaning. This is also part of the decision making that I'm going to be holding and taking more sell by sell coming lower, because I understand that they need to come lower, right? For this gap at the least. Sure enough, it ended up being really big. Sweeping these guys, getting into here. This was also the final decision of me holding still. Look how we got into here. Now we're kind of like in a square one situation where does it come in here and buy up to get another leg before turning over or being bullish? Or do we, come in here and fucking make legs like this coming down, all right, taking out that low. So that's if we're in that whole bearish scenario of the world and shit. Super fire, and then same thing with look at S&P. They sealed their shit, and then we're heavy in here. Took off. Look how that just opened on the gap and then shake down. And they haven't even reached there. So lower pricing. We were overbought. I was also telling you about us being overbought on the 4 hour and 1 hour. And yeah, that happened. Look at the 1 hour. We were up here. I was talking about the drives. Beautiful shit, bro. Came down here. Now, if you look on the 4 hour, you can see we made lower. We came lower. We were up there on the 4 hour. Now this is telling me we might even come even lower than what I projected. Maybe hitting this gap right here, last down candle type of shit. So, for example, let's just say that I'm just talking. I don't know. I really don't know, but it's getting interesting and looks beautiful, man. And yeah, that's pretty much. I think pretty much it. We need a body closure. So Wednesday so the week. Remember the weekly candle. I was mentioning that we would either maybe reach up in here and then turn back around. It'd be a wick, and then the body starts to come lower to take this. So I don't know. I don't know. This could be a shakeout. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday comes back down, and then again it could be a shakeout here for Thursday and Friday. Got to kind of watch it and use logical stories of what's next or what's going to happen. That's how I was successful today. And you know what's funny is I wanted to measure this. Let me move it. And I didn't do it on the. Let me move this shit over. Yeah, whatever. I was gonna do that on the 4 hour, wasn't I? Yeah. Anyways, that's not important. But algorithmically, you can see coming to the 50 here, and we also have our high confluence with the 25% there. All right, and then we're bouncing back up. Oh, look at that, 50. Come on, man, it's crazy. So, please be done. Please be done, bro. 40 minutes. I said everything. I'm not missing nothing, right? You guys take care. God bless.